unveiling the subtle signals of infidelity through a Stoic lens. The labyrinth of betrayal, navigating the shadows of doubt. The human heart, a landscape of intricate emotions and unspoken desires, is often shrouded in mystery. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the realm of romantic relationships, where trust, vulnerability, and intimacy intertwine to create a bond that can be both exquisitely fulfilling and devastatingly fragile. But what happens when that bond is threatened? When the specter of infidelity looms large, casting a shadow of doubt over everything you thought you knew? As the original content rightly points out, detecting infidelity is not about resorting to baseless accusations or paranoid suspicions. It is about honing your awareness, recognizing subtle shifts in behavior, and understanding the underlying psychological mechanisms at play. This essay will serve as a comprehensive guide to decoding the subtle signals of infidelity, exploring the common phrases and behavioral patterns that may indicate a breach of trust. By examining these signs through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we will not only gain insight into the potential deception, but also cultivate the emotional resilience and clarity of mind necessary to navigate such a challenging situation with wisdom and grace. Infidelity, a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, is often portrayed as a dramatic event, a sudden and overt act of betrayal. However, the reality is often far more subtle, unfolding gradually through a series of small decisions, unspoken desires, and carefully constructed deceptions. The early warning signs of infidelity are often dismissed or overlooked, attributed to stress, personal issues, or simple misunderstandings. It is only when the evidence becomes overwhelming that the truth is finally revealed, leaving a trail of pain, confusion, and shattered trust in its wake. This essay delves into the subtle nuances of infidelity, exploring the common phrases, behavioral patterns, and psychological mechanisms that may indicate a breach of trust. Drawing upon real-life examples and insights from relationship experts, we will uncover the hidden meanings behind seemingly innocuous words and actions, empowering you to recognize the warning signs of infidelity before it's too late. Part 1. The Deceptive Dance. Understanding the psychology of infidelity. Before we can begin to decode the subtle signals of infidelity, it is essential to understand the underlying psychological factors that contribute to this complex phenomenon. Infidelity is not simply a matter of physical attraction or sexual desire. It is often driven by deeper emotional needs, unmet expectations, and unresolved conflicts within a relationship. 1.1 The Anatomy of Desire. Exploring the motivations behind infidelity. What drives someone to cheat? The answer is rarely simple. A multitude of factors can contribute, often intertwined in a complex web of unmet needs and personal vulnerabilities. While popular culture often portrays infidelity as solely driven by sexual desire, the reality is far more nuanced. Emotional neglect. One of the most common catalysts for infidelity is emotional neglect within the primary relationship. When individuals feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated by their partners, they may seek validation and connection elsewhere. This doesn't necessarily mean they have fallen out of love with their partners. Rather, they are attempting to fulfill a fundamental human need for emotional intimacy and support. The allure of an affair can be the promise of being truly seen and understood, a refuge from the loneliness of emotional disconnection. Unresolved conflict. Unaddressed conflicts and unresolved issues can create a breeding ground for resentment and dissatisfaction within a relationship. When couples consistently fail to communicate effectively or address underlying problems, the emotional distance between them widens, making them more vulnerable to outside influences. Infidelity can become a way of escaping the tension and conflict, a temporary reprieve from the ongoing struggles within the primary relationship. Low self-esteem. Individuals with low self-esteem may seek external validation through affairs, using the attention and affection of others to boost their sense of self-worth. The novelty and excitement of a new relationship can provide a temporary fix for feelings of inadequacy, but this is ultimately a self-destructive pattern that perpetuates the underlying problem. Opportunity and circumstance. While emotional factors play a significant role, opportunity and circumstance can also contribute to infidelity. Being in close proximity to someone attractive, spending extended periods of time away from one's partner, or experiencing a moment of vulnerability can create a perfect storm for an affair to occur. Revenge. In some cases, infidelity may be motivated by a desire for revenge. If one partner has been hurt or betrayed in the past, they may seek to inflict similar pain on their partner as a form of retribution. This is a destructive and ultimately unsatisfying response that further damages the relationship. Lack of commitment. A fundamental lack of commitment to the relationship can be a significant predictor of infidelity. When individuals are unsure about their feelings for their partners or unwilling to invest the necessary effort into the relationship, they are more likely to stray. This lack of commitment may stem from unresolved issues, incompatible values, or a general fear of intimacy. 1.2 The art of deception. Mastering the techniques of concealment. Infidelity rarely occurs in a vacuum. It requires a certain degree of deception and concealment as individuals attempt to hide their actions from their partners. Understanding the common techniques of concealment can help you recognize the warning signs and uncover the truth. Lying by omission. One of the most common techniques of concealment is lying by omission. This involves selectively withholding information rather than outright lying. For example, someone might not explicitly deny having lunch with a colleague, but they might fail to mention that the colleague is someone they are attracted to. Creating alibis. Fabricating alibis is another common technique of concealment. This involves creating false stories to explain one's whereabouts or activities. For example, someone might claim to be working late at the office when they are actually spending time with their affair partner. Compartmentalization. Compartmentalization is a psychological defense mechanism that allows individuals to separate different aspects of their lives into distinct compartments. This enables them to maintain a sense of normalcy in their primary relationship while engaging in secretive behavior elsewhere. For example, someone might be loving and attentive to their partner at home while simultaneously carrying on an affair with someone else. Projecting guilt. Projecting guilt is a manipulative tactic that involves accusing one's partner of the very behavior that one is engaging in oneself. For example, someone who is having an affair might accuse their partner of being unfaithful as a way of deflecting suspicion and easing their own guilt. Gaslighting. As mentioned in the original transcript, gaslighting is a particularly insidious form of manipulation that involves making someone doubt their own sanity and perception of reality. This can involve denying that certain events occurred, distorting facts, or making someone feel like they are imagining things. 1.3 The emotional roller coaster. Navigating the guilt, anxiety, and cognitive dissonance. Engaging in infidelity is not without its emotional consequences. Individuals who are cheating often experience a range of conflicting emotions, including guilt, anxiety, cognitive dissonance, and even excitement. Understanding these emotional undercurrents can provide valuable clues about their behavior. Guilt. Guilt is a common emotion experienced by individuals who are cheating. This guilt may stem from violating their own moral code, betraying their partner's trust, or causing harm to their family. The guilt can manifest in various ways, such as becoming overly attentive to their partner, experiencing mood swings, or engaging in self-destructive behaviors. Anxiety. Anxiety is another common emotion associated with infidelity. This anxiety may stem from the fear of being discovered, the fear of hurting their partner, or the fear of losing everything they have. The anxiety can manifest in various ways, such as becoming secretive, being overly cautious, or experiencing panic attacks. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the psychological discomfort that arises from holding conflicting beliefs or values. Individuals who are cheating often experience cognitive dissonance, as their actions are inconsistent with their values of honesty, loyalty, and commitment. This cognitive dissonance can lead to rationalization, denial, and other defense mechanisms. Excitement. While guilt and anxiety are common emotions, some individuals may also experience excitement from engaging in infidelity. This excitement may stem from the novelty of the experience, the thrill of the forbidden, or the sense of power and control. However, this excitement is often short-lived and can be replaced by feelings of guilt and remorse. Part 2. The telltale signs, decoding the common phrases and behaviors. With a foundational understanding of the psychology of infidelity, we can now turn our attention to the specific phrases and behaviors that may indicate a breach of trust. The original transcript provides a valuable starting point, highlighting several common red flags that should not be ignored. 2.1. You're being paranoid. The art of deflection and dismissal. As the original content accurately points out, you're being paranoid is a classic defensive response designed to shift the focus away from the potential infidelity and onto the partner's perceived insecurities. This phrase is not simply a harmless reassurance. It is a calculated attempt to manipulate the situation, making the partner question their own instincts and feelings. Understanding the underlying message. The underlying message behind "you're being paranoid" is not "I have nothing to hide." It is "stop asking questions." It is an attempt to shut down further inquiry and prevent the partner from uncovering the truth. Recognizing the context. The context in which this phrase is used is crucial. If it is a one-off comment in response to a minor concern, it may not be cause for alarm. However, if it is a recurring response to legitimate questions or concerns, it should raise red flags. Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves maintaining emotional composure and refusing to be manipulated. Instead of getting defensive or arguing, calmly reiterate your concerns and ask for clarification. Focus on the facts and avoid getting drawn into an emotional debate. Remember, your feelings are valid and you have a right to ask questions. 2.2. We're just friends. Downplaying the significance of the relationship. We're just friends is another common phrase used to downplay the significance of a potentially inappropriate relationship. This phrase is often used in conjunction with other techniques of concealment, such as lying by omission and creating alibis. Examining the nature of the friendship. The key to assessing the validity of this claim is to examine the nature of the friendship. Is it a long-standing friendship with a shared history, or is it a relatively new relationship that has developed quickly? Is the friendship characterized by open communication and transparency, or is it shrouded in secrecy and defensiveness? Observing body language. Pay attention to the individual's body language when they use this phrase. Are they making eye contact, or are they looking away? Are they speaking calmly and confidently, or are they fidgeting and avoiding direct answers? Nonverbal cues can often reveal more than words. Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves calmly assessing the situation and avoiding impulsive reactions. Trust your instincts, but also be willing to give your partner the benefit of the doubt. Ask clarifying questions and observe their behavior over time. Remember, transparency and trust are essential foundations of a healthy relationship. 2.3. I need space. Creating emotional distance and justifying absence. I need space is a phrase that can be particularly unsettling, as it suggests a desire for emotional distance and independence. While it is perfectly normal for individuals to need occasional alone time, a sudden and unexplained need for space can be a sign of something more serious. Assessing the reason for the space. The reason for the space is crucial. Is it related to stress, personal issues, or a genuine need for introspection? Or is it a way of creating distance to justify spending time with someone else? Observing changes in behavior. Pay attention to changes in behavior that accompany this need for space. Is the individual becoming more distant, secretive, or irritable? Are they withdrawing from shared activities and conversations? Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves calmly communicating your concerns and setting clear boundaries. Express your understanding of their need for space, but also reaffirm your commitment to the relationship. Make it clear that you are willing to work through any issues together, but that you also expect honesty and transparency. 2.4. You deserve better than me. Projecting guilt and seeking absolution. You deserve better than me is a phrase that is often used when someone feels guilty about their actions. It is a veiled confession, an indirect way of acknowledging that they have done something wrong without explicitly admitting it. Understanding the underlying motivation. The underlying motivation behind this phrase is often a desire to alleviate guilt and seek absolution. By acknowledging their perceived unworthiness, they're hoping to elicit sympathy and reassurance from their partner. Recognizing the manipulative aspect. This phrase can also be manipulative, as it places the burden on the partner to reassure them and affirm their worthiness. It is a way of avoiding responsibility and shifting the focus onto the partner's feelings. Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves recognizing the underlying guilt and avoiding the trap of providing empty reassurance. Instead, calmly ask them to explain what they are feeling and what they believe they have done wrong. Encourage them to take responsibility for their actions and to work towards repairing the relationship. 2.5. Why don't you trust me? Shifting blame and avoiding accountability. Why don't you trust me is a classic deflection tactic that is used to shift the blame onto the partner for questioning their behavior. It is a way of avoiding accountability and making the partner feel guilty for being suspicious. Recognizing the inverted logic. The logic behind this phrase is inverted. Trust should be earned, not demanded. If someone is behaving suspiciously, it is natural for their partner to feel uncertain and to ask questions. Understanding the defensive nature. This phrase is inherently defensive, suggesting that the individual has something to hide. If they were truly innocent, they would be more likely to address the concerns directly and provide reassurance. Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves calmly explaining why you are feeling uncertain and what specific behaviors have led you to question their trust. Focus on the facts and avoid getting drawn into an emotional argument. Remind them that trust is a two-way street and that it requires honesty, transparency, and consistent behavior. 2.6. You're always busy. Shifting blame and justifying infidelity. You're always busy is a phrase that is often used to justify infidelity by blaming the partner for neglecting the relationship. It is a way of shifting responsibility for one's own actions and making the partner feel guilty for their lack of attention. Recognizing the distortion of reality. This phrase often distorts reality by exaggerating the partner's busyness and minimizing their own contributions to the relationship. It is a way of creating a narrative that justifies the infidelity. Understanding the emotional manipulation. This phrase is emotionally manipulative, as it makes the partner feel responsible for the infidelity. It is a way of avoiding accountability and shifting the blame onto someone else. Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves calmly assessing the situation and avoiding the trap of feeling guilty. Acknowledge that you have been busy, but also point out that you have made efforts to maintain the relationship. Ask them to explain why they are feeling neglected and to suggest ways that you can improve the situation together. 2.7. It's not what it looks like. Dismissing suspicious circumstances. It's not what it looks like is a phrase that is often used to dismiss suspicious circumstances and downplay potentially compromising situations. It is a way of avoiding accountability and making the partner feel like they are overreacting. Recognizing the lack of explanation. The key to assessing the validity of this claim is to examine whether it is accompanied by a reasonable explanation. If someone simply says, "It's not what it looks like," without providing any further details, it is likely that they're trying to hide something. Observing body language and tone. Pay attention to the individual's body language and tone of voice when they use this phrase. Are they being sincere and forthcoming, or are they evasive and defensive? Stoic response. A Stoic response to this phrase involves calmly asking for a detailed explanation of what actually happened. Encourage them to be honest and transparent, and avoid getting drawn into an emotional argument. Remember, you have a right to know the truth. 2.8. You're imagining things. Gaslighting and eroding self-worth. You're imagining things is a form of gaslighting that is used to make the partner doubt their own sanity and perception of reality. It is a particularly insidious form of manipulation that can have a devastating impact on self-esteem and mental health. Recognizing the pattern of denial. The key to recognizing gaslighting is to look for a pattern of denial, distortion, and minimization. Does the individual consistently deny that certain events occurred, distort facts, or make you feel like you are crazy for questioning their behavior? Trusting your instincts. If you feel like you're being gaslighted, it is important to trust your instincts and seek support from trusted friends or family members. Remember, you are not crazy and your feelings are valid. Stoic response. A stoic response to gaslighting involves maintaining a strong sense of self-worth and refusing to be manipulated. Focus on your own observations and emotions, and don't let someone else define your reality. If the gaslighting persists, it may be necessary to distance yourself from the relationship. 2.9. I don't know what I want anymore. Hinting at emotional disconnect and a desire for change. I don't know what I want anymore is a phrase that is often used to signal a growing emotional disconnect and a desire for change. It is a way of expressing dissatisfaction with the relationship without explicitly stating a desire to end it. Assessing the overall context. The key to understanding the meaning of this phrase is to assess the overall context of the relationship. Is it a long-term relationship that has lost its spark? Or is it a relatively new relationship that has encountered challenges? Are there underlying issues that have not been addressed? Observing changes in behavior. Pay attention to changes in behavior that accompany this expression of uncertainty. Is the individual becoming more distant, withdrawn, or irritable? Are they expressing dissatisfaction with other aspects of their life? Stoic response. A stoic response to this phrase involves calmly communicating your willingness to work through any issues together. Acknowledge their feelings of uncertainty, but also reaffirm your commitment to the relationship. Encourage them to explore their own desires and to communicate openly about their needs. Part 3. Beyond the phrases. Unveiling the behavioral red flags. While specific phrases can be indicative of infidelity, it is equally important to be aware of broader behavioral changes that may signal a breach of trust. 3.1 Changes in communication patterns. Increased secrecy. Suddenly becoming more secretive about their phone, computer, or social media accounts. Less communication. A noticeable decrease in communication, including fewer phone calls, texts, and emails. Evasive answers. Providing evasive or inconsistent answers to simple questions about their whereabouts or activities. Argumentative behavior. Becoming more argumentative or critical, picking fights over trivial matters. 3.2 Changes in appearance and habits. Sudden interest in fitness. A sudden and unexplained interest in fitness, dieting, or changing their appearance. New hobbies and interests. Taking up new hobbies or interests that they are not sharing with you. Changes in sleep patterns. Experiencing changes in sleep patterns, such as insomnia or sleeping at odd hours. Increased spending. A noticeable increase in spending, particularly on items that they are not willing to discuss. 3.3 Changes in emotional intimacy. Emotional distance. Becoming more emotionally distant, withdrawn, or apathetic. Decreased affection. A noticeable decrease in physical affection, such as hugging, kissing, or holding hands. Lack of interest in sex. A lack of interest in sex or a sudden change in sexual preferences. Increased criticism. Becoming more critical of you, your appearance, or your behavior. 3.4 Changes in technology usage. Secret phone calls. Taking phone calls in private or deleting call history. Password changes. Changing passwords on their phone, computer, or social media accounts. New social media accounts. Creating new social media accounts that you are not aware of. Increased texting. Spending excessive amounts of time texting, particularly with someone you don't know. Part 4. Stoicism as a shield. Navigating the storm of uncertainty. Discovering or suspecting infidelity can be a deeply traumatic experience, triggering a range of intense emotions such as anger, sadness, betrayal, and fear. In such a vulnerable state, it is essential to draw upon the wisdom of Stoicism to maintain emotional equilibrium and make rational decisions. 4.1 Accepting what you cannot control. One of the fundamental tenets of Stoicism is the acceptance of what is beyond our control. We cannot control the actions of others, including whether or not our partner chooses to be faithful. What we can control is our own response to their actions. Focusing on your own virtues, instead of dwelling on the actions of your partner, focus on cultivating your own virtues, such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues will provide you with the strength and clarity to navigate this difficult situation with grace and integrity. Avoiding emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning is the tendency to make decisions based on your feelings rather than on logic and reason. In the face of suspected infidelity, it is essential to avoid emotional reasoning and to base your decisions on facts and evidence. Practicing detachment. Detachment does not mean being indifferent or uncaring. It means recognizing that your happiness and well-being should not be dependent on the actions of others. By practicing detachment, you can maintain emotional equilibrium and avoid becoming overwhelmed by anger or sadness. For point 2, focusing on what you can control. While we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. Seeking information. Gathering information is essential for making informed decisions. This may involve having an open and honest conversation with your partner, consulting with a therapist, or seeking legal advice. Setting boundaries. Setting clear boundaries is essential for protecting your emotional well-being. This may involve limiting contact with your partner, setting rules about communication, or deciding to separate temporarily. Making decisions. Making decisions based on your values and goals is essential for moving forward. This may involve deciding to stay in the relationship and work through the issues, or it may involve deciding to end the relationship. Taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is essential for maintaining your physical and emotional health. This may involve eating healthy, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, and engaging in activities that you enjoy. 4.3 Cultivating inner resilience. The path to healing from infidelity is often long and arduous. It requires cultivating inner resilience and developing the ability to cope with difficult emotions. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This can help you to become more aware of your thoughts and emotions and to avoid getting caught up in negative thinking patterns. Seeking support. Seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or a therapist can provide you with emotional comfort and guidance during this difficult time. Learning from the experience. While infidelity is a painful experience, it can also be an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By learning from the experience, you can become a stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate person. Part 5. Moving forward. Rebuilding trust or choosing a new path. The discovery of infidelity presents a fork in the road. One path leads to the arduous task of rebuilding trust and attempting to repair the relationship. The other path leads to separation and the creation of a new life. The decision of which path to take is deeply personal and should be based on careful consideration of all the factors involved. 5.1 Rebuilding trust, a long and difficult journey. Rebuilding trust after infidelity is a long and difficult journey that requires commitment, honesty, and patience from both partners. Taking responsibility. The partner who committed the infidelity must take full responsibility for their actions and demonstrate genuine remorse. They must be willing to make amends and to change their behavior. Open communication. Open and honest communication is essential for rebuilding trust. Both partners must be willing to share their feelings, thoughts, and concerns without defensiveness or judgment. Setting boundaries. Setting clear boundaries is essential for creating a safe and secure environment. These boundaries may involve limiting contact with the affair partner, attending therapy, or agreeing to be more transparent about their activities. Patience and forgiveness. Rebuilding trust takes time and patience. It is important to be forgiving, both of yourself and of your partner. However, Forgiveness does not mean condoning the infidelity. It means releasing the anger and resentment that are preventing you from moving forward. 5.2. Choosing a new path. Embracing independence and self-discovery. In some cases, rebuilding trust may not be possible or desirable. The damage caused by the infidelity may be too great to overcome, or one or both partners may simply not be willing to put in the necessary effort. In these cases, it may be necessary to choose a new path and to embrace independence and self-discovery. Allowing yourself to grieve. Grieving the loss of the relationship is a natural and necessary part of the healing process. Allow yourself to feel the pain, sadness, and anger without judgment or shame. Focusing on self-care. Focusing on self-care is essential for maintaining your physical and emotional health. This may involve eating healthy, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, and engaging in activities that you enjoy. Seeking support. Seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or a therapist can provide you with emotional comfort and guidance during this difficult time. Embracing new opportunities. Embrace new opportunities for growth and self-discovery. This may involve pursuing new hobbies, traveling, or taking classes. Conclusion. Embracing clarity and strength in the face of betrayal. In conclusion, navigating the labyrinth of betrayal requires a combination of awareness, emotional intelligence, and resilience. By understanding the psychology of infidelity, decoding the subtle signals of deception, and drawing upon the wisdom of Stoicism, you can empower yourself to make informed decisions and to move forward with strength and clarity. Whether you choose to rebuild trust or to embark on a new path, remember that you're not defined by the actions of others. You are a resilient, capable, and worthy individual, deserving of love, respect, and happiness. Embrace your inner strength, trust your instincts, and never compromise your values. Key takeaways. Infidelity is often driven by unmet emotional needs. Recognize the potential for emotional neglect, unresolved conflict, and low self-esteem to contribute to infidelity. Deception is a key component. Understand the techniques of concealment, such as lying by omission, creating alibis, and gaslighting. Pay attention to verbal and behavioral red flags. Be aware of common phrases and behavioral changes that may indicate infidelity. Embrace Stoicism for emotional resilience. Use Stoic principles to accept what you cannot control, focus on what you can, and cultivate inner strength. Make informed decisions. Gather information, set boundaries, and make decisions based on your values and goals. Prioritize self-care. Take care of your physical and emotional health throughout the process. By embracing these principles, you can navigate the challenges of infidelity with wisdom, grace, and an unwavering commitment to your own well-being. The journey may be difficult, but it is also an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and the creation of a more authentic and fulfilling life. The goal is not to become mired in suspicion, but to empower yourself with understanding and the strength to navigate the complexities of human relationships with clarity and integrity.